The email notification chimes while I'm preparing my morning coffee. Mom's name appears on my screen, and warmth blooms in my chest. It's been a week since we returned from Hawaii, a trip I spent months planning for her 60th birthday. I tap the notification with my index finger, lips curving into a smile. The smile freezes, then crumbles as I read the first line. Madison, I've been thinking about our wonderful time in Hawaii. I'd like to continue living that way. I'll need $1,000 monthly from you going forward. The coffee mug slips from my hand, shattering against the kitchen tile. Hot liquid splashes my bare ankles, but I barely register the sting. My eyes remain fixed on the screen, reading and rereading the words, as if they might rearrange themselves into something that makes sense. The resort, the restaurants, the shopping, it was exactly how I deserve to live, just so I can keep living like I did in Hawaii. Being a good daughter isn't one time, it's a lifetime. My throat constricts. 1 week. Just 1 week after what she called the best week of my life in Hawaii. And now this. I sink into a kitchen chair, coffee forgotten as memories from just 2 weeks ago flood back. The careful planning, the extra hours at work, the $6,200 price tag that represented 6 months of dedicated saving. I'd wanted to give Mom something special, something she would remember forever. I can still see her face at the airport when I revealed our destination. The way tears pooled in her eyes as she pulled me into a fierce hug, whispering, "My perfect child," against my hair. It had been worth every penny, every sacrifice. That's how it had always been. Derek and Laura, my older siblings, were the ones who needed help. Mom helped Derek with a down payment on his house 5 years ago. She contributed significantly to Laura's lavish wedding. I was the independent one, the one who made her own way, the one who never asked for anything. Until now, it seems I'm expected to give everything. My hands tremble as I dial Mom's number. I steady my voice with practiced precision. "Mom, I need to talk to you about that email." "Madison, perfect timing. I was just looking at a new jacket online. With your help, I could—" "It was a one-time gift, Mom," I interrupt, the words leaving my mouth with surprising steadiness. "I can't commit to monthly payments." A beat of silence follows, then Mom's voice returns, sharper now. "I gave Derek money for his down payment. I paid for Laura's wedding. Now it's your turn." "That's different," I say. "You chose to help them. I'm not asking you for anything. This is what family does, Madison." Her voice takes on that familiar, disappointed tone. "I raised you better than this." "I'm sorry, but I can't." My hands have stopped trembling, I notice. The Hawaii trip was special, but it's not something I can provide monthly. The call ends without resolution, but it's only the beginning. An hour later, another email arrives, this one from both Derek and Laura. "You've raised Mom's expectations with that extravagant trip. It's on you now. We have our own families to support, our own expenses. You're single, you can afford this. If you truly valued family, you'd understand your responsibility." I stare at their words, feeling the weight of familial expectation crushing down. For 32 years, I've been the good daughter, the reliable one, the one who never causes problems. Now, a single act of generosity has become a trap, threatening not just my financial security, but my very identity within the family. My finger hovers over the reply button. Everything I've built, my independence, my savings, my peace of mind, hangs in the balance of what I do next. The walls of my quiet apartment suddenly feel like they're closing in. They've made their demand. Now I have to decide if I'm willing to pay the price. That same week, I was focused on my work, but still thinking what I should do as that email came out unexpectedly. On Wednesday, the email notification chimes while I'm reviewing quarterly reports at work. Mom's name appears, and I hesitate before opening it. It's been 3 days since our tense phone call about her monthly allowance request. I tap the notification, expecting an apology. Instead, my screen fills with a colorful Caribbean cruise itinerary, complete with excursion packages and premium dining options. The subject line reads, "Booked a 5-day Caribbean cruise. Can you cover it?" My throat constricts as if someone's tightening a necktie. The office around me continues its Wednesday morning bustle, but I can only focus on the $2,800 total highlighted in yellow at the bottom of the itinerary. While staring at the email, I hear a voice. "Madison, you okay?" My coworker Jen passes by with concern etched across her face. I nod mechanically and minimize the email, needing to sit down at my desk. The attached note reads, "Already told everyone you're treating me to continue our Hawaii celebrations. Can't wait to tell you about the specialty restaurants I've reserved." This isn't just about monthly payments anymore. It's an assumed ongoing obligation, a blank check written against my account without my consent. My phone buzzes with a group text from Derek. Family video call in 15. Mom wants to discuss her cruise. 15 minutes later, I'm hiding in the office break room, laptop open as 4 faces appear on screen. Mom sits center frame in her living room, flanked by Derek and Laura on either side. My face occupies a tiny square in the corner. There she is, Mom beams. My little cruise director. Before I can respond, Laura jumps in, sympathy carefully calculated in her voice. Madison, we're so excited Mom told us about your cruise gift. It's really special you're doing this after Hawaii. I start, but Derek talks over me. Mom deserves this after all she sacrificed for us, he says, his tone suggesting I've already agreed. You owe her, Maddie, we all do, but you're in the best position to show appreciation. Laura nods emphatically. We're already stretched thin with the kids' college funds. Between piano lessons and soccer camp this summer, there's nothing left. I haven't agreed to any cruise, I finally interject, my voice firmer than I expected. Mom's smile falters, then returns with dangerous brightness. But sweetheart, I've already told my friends about the cruise. We're planning to meet up with Aunt Diane's group in Nassau. Don't embarrass me now. The call ends 30 minutes later with nothing resolved. I return to my desk, hands trembling slightly, to find Jen hovering nearby. Everything good with your family situation? She asks casually. I couldn't help overhearing. A chill runs through me. How much had she heard? More importantly, who had she told? That evening, a Facebook notification draws me to Mom's page. She's posted our Hawaii photos with a caption that makes my stomach clench. Some kids give once and disappear. Others stay loyal. Blessed to have created such wonderful memories with Madison. Hoping for many more trips together. The comments section fills with heart emojis and supportive messages, including one from Laura. Mom deserves the world after raising us alone. I close the app and pull up my banking spreadsheet instead. The numbers don't lie. $1,000 monthly would deplete my emergency fund within 8 months, and my entire savings within 2 years. Add in surprise cruises, and I'd be in debt before Christmas. My phone buzzes again, a group text from Derek and Laura. Family means supporting each other, Derek writes. If you truly valued family, you'd understand your responsibility. Laura adds, Mom's getting older. These experiences mean everything to her. I stare at their messages, a familiar pressure building behind my eyes. For the first time, I wonder if I've misunderstood what family means. Maybe I am the selfish one. My phone pings with another notification. It's Rachel, my college roommate, commenting on Mom's Facebook post. Such a lovely trip. But remember, a gift isn't a contract. Don't let anyone rewrite the terms of your generosity, Madison. I read her words 3 times, feeling something loosen in my chest. Rachel sees what my family cannot or will not. As I stare at Mom's cruise itinerary, I wonder, should I clearly refuse now and weather the immediate storm, or should I delay and try to gently set boundaries over time? The first option risked a complete family rupture, while the second might trap me in months of manipulation. What would you do when a generous gift suddenly becomes an unending obligation? My finger hovers over the reply button, the future of my family relationships hanging in the balance of what I do next. A week passes really quickly. On Tuesday the following week, during the lunch break, the notification chimes while I'm ordering lunch at my favorite sandwich shop. I almost ignore it until I see it's from Aunt Evelyn, Mom's oldest sister who rarely contacts me. Madison, is everything okay with your mother? Her posts make it sound like you've abandoned her. My stomach knots as I fumble with my phone, nearly dropping it while pulling up Mom's social media page. There they are, a dozen throwback photos from Hawaii, each carefully captioned for maximum effect. Sunsets in Maui with my daughter. Lucky you if your children treat you this way all the time. I wish I had that kind of child. Remember when my daughter took me parasailing? Now she won't even return my calls. The sandwich artist calls my name twice before I hear him. I take my food mechanically, finding a corner table where I can process what's happening. 3 more notifications pop up from extended family, Uncle Roy, cousin Melissa, even my father's sister whom Mom hasn't spoken to in years. Why are you abandoning your mother after everything she's done for you? I set my phone face down, untouched sandwich forgotten. A text from my coworker Janine arrives next. Hey, Your sister Laura mentioned your mom's situation at book club last night. Why did you stop paying? I heard your mom is really upset. My chest tightens. Book club? Laura doesn't even read. She attended specifically to spread this story. That evening, I discovered Mom has created a dream retirement Pinterest board, tagging me in expensive items, Mediterranean cruises, beachfront condos, designer luggage sets. Each pin includes notes like, Madison could make this happen if she wanted to, or, what a thoughtful daughter would give. In days to come, sleep becomes a luxury I can no longer afford. My phone buzzes constantly with family members weighing in. I start checking it every few minutes, bracing for the next attack. At work, I've begun closing my office door, something I've never done before. During a team lunch, my phone lights up with Mom's contact photo. Everyone at the table notices my flinch. You should take that, my boss says. Family's important. What she doesn't see is the text that preceded the call. I just told everyone at church how you abandoned me after Hawaii. Is that really the reputation you want? At night, I scroll through her social media posts, finding childhood stories I'd shared privately now displayed publicly with embellishments that make me sound like an ungrateful daughter. In one post, she describes how I refused to help with her medical bills, though she's never had significant medical expenses. The invasion feels complete when my college roommate forwards a message from Mom asking about my spending habits and whether I'm hiding money. I start a document titled Family Communications, meticulously saving screenshots of every message, every post, every demand. Next to it, I create a financial boundary plan, a simple spreadsheet showing exactly what I can reasonably afford to give, nothing, and what I actually owe, also nothing. The plan provides structure, but does nothing for the knot in my stomach that tightens each time my phone lights up. Thursday morning, I arrive at my desk to find a book placed carefully in the center. Boundaries. When to say yes, how to say number. Inside is a handwritten note. Been there. Call me if you need to talk. Barbara. Barbara, our office manager, has always seemed so composed. The idea that she might understand this chaos feels like finding an unexpected handhold on a crumbling cliff. Before I can thank her, my intercom buzzes. Madison, you have visitors in the lobby. Mom and Laura stand side by side near the reception desk. Mom in her church clothes, Laura looking uncomfortably formal for a Wednesday. Their faces transform into practiced smiles when they see me. Surprise! Mom calls too loudly. We thought we'd take you to lunch. The elevator ride down to the parking garage feels endless. Once inside my car, Mom's smile vanishes. Why are you being so selfish? After everything I've done for you. I grip the steering wheel, knuckles white. Name one thing you've done for me that wasn't also for yourself. The words escape before I can stop them, hanging in the sudden silence. How dare you? Laura interjects. Mom has sacrificed everything for us. But something shifts in Mom's expression, a flicker of panic, quickly masked by indignation. A memory surfaces with startling clarity. Me at 15, clutching an acceptance letter to a prestigious summer STEM program, full of pride until Mom explained she'd already promised that money to Laura's college fund. She's the oldest, Mom had said. Her needs come first. There will be other opportunities for you. There never were. You refused to let me attend that STEM program. I say, my voice steadier than I expected. You took the money Grandma left specifically for my education and gave it to Laura. That was different, Mom sputters. Family priorities. I've never asked you for anything, I interrupt, sitting taller. Not for college, not for my apartment, not for my car. Nothing. Why do I owe you now? The silence stretches between us. In that moment, I realized the Hawaii trip wasn't the beginning of this pattern, but merely its most expensive chapter. The manipulation has been lifelong, I just never had something valuable enough to extract before. 2 days later, Barbara introduces me to her sister's friend, a financial counselor who specializes in family dynamics. While my family only speaks to demand, Carolyn listens without judgment as I explain the situation. This isn't unusual, she tells me. When family members see someone as financially stable, especially a single woman, they often feel entitled to that stability. With Carolyn's guidance, I begin screening calls, responding to emotional appeals with factual statements. I understand you're disappointed, but I cannot provide financial support, becomes my mantra. In my apartment that evening, I draft an email establishing clear financial boundaries, reviewing each sentence for loopholes my mother might exploit. The document is almost complete when my phone rings Aunt Laverne, Mom's youngest sister. "I've watched this pattern for years," she says after I explain the situation. "Your mother did the same thing to me when I got my first big promotion. It doesn't stop unless you make it stop." My finger hovers over the send button on the email. The words feel both terrifying and liberating. "I love you, but I will not fund your lifestyle. My financial boundaries are non-negotiable." I press send, then watch as the typing indicators appear almost immediately from Mom, Laura, and even Derek. The storm is coming, but for the first time, I'm ready for it. 3 days later, the cursor blinks on my screen like a heartbeat as I read through my email one last time. Each word carries the weight of a decision I've spent days crafting. No dramatic language, no emotional pleas, just facts and boundaries as clear as the line items in the quarterly reports I prepare at work. I love you, but I can't and won't fund a lifestyle. A birthday gift isn't a lifetime obligation. My finger hovers over the send button. The apartment feels unnaturally quiet, as if the walls themselves are holding their breath. I add one final sentence. "I will not discuss this further. My decision is final." I press send. The familiar whoosh of the outgoing message sounds like freedom and terror simultaneously. My shoulders drop from their permanent position near my ears as I exhale completely for what feels like the first time in weeks. Then I wait for the explosion. But the explosion didn't come. Hours pass. The entire evening. My phone doesn't ring. No text notifications light up my screen. When I wake the next morning, I check my email immediately. Heart racing. But there's nothing from Mom, Derek, or Laura. 24 hours of complete silence. They're regrouping. Barbara warns when I mention it during our coffee break, preparing for the next assault. She's right. The silence breaks with a notification from Facebook. Mom has posted a lengthy paragraph about forgotten mothers and selfish children who abandon their parents after decades of sacrifice. The post ends with a question that makes my stomach clench. What kind of child forgets where they came from? I'm composing a measured response when another notification appears. My breath catches. Aunt Laverne, Mom's older sister who rarely speaks up about family matters, has commented publicly on the post. "I've stayed quiet for 30 years, but Madison has always been the one left out, the one who got less, the one who managed on her own while others received help. She owes no one anything." My hands tremble as I read her words. Validation from an unexpected corner. Within minutes, Mrs. Peterson from church likes Aunt Laverne's comment. Then Dad's college roommate. Then 3 of Mom's book club friends. Someone comments, "There are always 2 sides to every story." By evening, Mom has quietly deleted the entire post. When I see the post vanish, I wonder if I should reach out with an olive branch or maintain my silence. Reconciliation tempts me, but I fear it would be seen as an opening to renew financial demands. What serves truth, better compassion, or consistency? My phone rings. "Aunt Laverne, your mother is furious with me," she says without preamble. But it needed saying. "Thank you," I whisper, throat tight. "I've called Derek and Laura too," she continues. "Told them things they never knew about your childhood. How you gave up your birthday money when Derek needed new baseball equipment. How you babysat Laura's kids for free while she and Tom took weekend getaways." I close my eyes. "You didn't have to do that. Someone should know what you've already given." Her voice softens. "Someone besides you and me." The next day at work, Mom calls while I'm in a budget meeting. When I return to my desk, a sticky note from our receptionist reads, "Your mother called. Sounded upset. Said it's an emergency." Barbara appears with 2 other coworkers. "We told her you were in meetings all afternoon. We've got your back." Their protective circle reminds me I'm not alone anymore. When Barbara invites me to her book club that evening, I accept immediately. "We're reading that Boundaries book I gave you," she says with a wink. The book club welcomes me with wine and understanding nods. For the first time in weeks, I'm with people who aren't demanding pieces of me. The constant knot in my stomach loosens slightly. My phone buzzes during the discussion. Derek's name appears on my screen with a message I never expected. "Maybe we've been unfair. Can we talk?" I stare at his text, unsure how to respond. Before I can decide, another message arrives from Aunt Laverne. "Your cousins are asking me what happened with the Facebook post. Everyone's talking. Your mother hates it." I smile despite myself. The power dynamic has shifted. The extended family has stopped asking why I'm not supporting Mom. The final surprise comes that evening. from my neighbor across the hall. Saw your mom and sister yesterday? She mentions casually as we collect our mail. Your sister was saying something about how she couldn't possibly cover the full amount your mom needs. I blink, processing this information. Mom has already moved on to her next target, Laura. As I unlock my apartment door, my phone chimes with yet another message. This time from Laura. The preview shows just 5 words. This isn't fair to me. I slip my phone back into my pocket without opening the message. For the first time since Hawaii, I feel something unexpected. Not guilt, not anger, but something that might, with practice, become peace. A week later, after the posts and messages, the doorbell chimes just as I finish placing a fresh coffee mug on my newly purchased coaster. I check my phone, no texts, no warnings of visitors. My stomach tightens as I peer through the peephole. Mom and Laura stand in the hallway, Mom clutching a white bakery box while Laura shifts her weight from one foot to another. Their unexpected presence sends a jolt through my system, but I've prepared for this moment. What a surprise! I say, opening the door just wide enough to be seen but not enough to serve as an invitation. Mom's smile stretches too wide across her face. We've been thinking about what you said, Madison. She lifts the bakery box. Your favorite raspberry scones. Can we come in? Just to talk? I step back, allowing them entry while maintaining physical distance. Laura's eyes dart around my apartment, landing on the new framed photo from my weekend hike with Barbara, evidence of a life continuing without their approval. We realize things got heated. Laura says, her voice carefully modulated to convey sympathy I know she doesn't feel. Family shouldn't be divided like this. Mom nods eagerly. We've worked out a compromise. If we all pitch in together, you could cover half the monthly amount, just $500, and we'll find a way to manage the rest. Laura leans forward, voice dropping. Derek's thinking about it too, but you know how people talk? Your office manager, Barbara? Her sister works with Sheila from my book club. Word gets around about family situations. The implied threat lands with precision, but not the impact they expect. My hands remain steady as I gesture toward the kitchen table where my laptop sits open. I've been busy too, I say, retrieving a folder from beside my computer. Financial counseling has been enlightening, so has starting a blog about family financial manipulation. Mom's coffee cup pauses halfway to her lips. A what? I slide printouts across the table. Screenshots of Mom's Facebook posts about ungrateful children, copies of emails demanding money, text message threads, where my refusals were met with escalating emotional appeals. I've documented everything. I say, my voice calmer than I feel. Your public posts, the private demands, the way you've discussed me with others without my knowledge. People already know the truth. Laura's face pales. You can't just... I don't need your approval to protect myself anymore. I turn my laptop screen toward them, revealing a draft post titled, When Being the Good Kid Comes with Interest. Mom sets down her untouched coffee with shaking hands. Madison, this is family business, private. Privacy works both ways. You chose to make our disagreement public when it served you. Laura and Mom remain standing while I stay seated, a reversal of power dynamics that doesn't escape my notice. I begin reading from my screen, my voice steady. The $6,200 Hawaiian vacation I saved for 6 months to give my mother became an unexpected down payment on a lifetime subscription to guilt. 1 week after returning home, I received an email requesting $1,000 monthly payments going forward, followed by demands for cruise funding. When I hesitated, the family mobilization began. You can't share family business publicly, Mom interrupts, her face flushing crimson. I continue reading without acknowledging the interruption, describing the coordinated email campaign from siblings, the social media posts designed to pressure me, the invasion of my workplace relationships. Mom's breathing grows rapid. People will think I'm a terrible mother. I finally look up, meeting her eyes directly. You've already told your story, the one where I'm selfish and ungrateful. Now I'm telling mine. This will destroy me, she whispers, tears welling. Your reputation is not my responsibility anymore. I say, closing my laptop. Neither is your lifestyle. The silence that follows feels both weightless and heavy, like the moment after a storm passes but before the damage is assessed. Laura stares at the floor, her earlier confidence evaporated. Did Mom really make you give up that science program? Laura asks quietly, not looking at either of us. When you were 15? The question catches me off guard. It's the first time in our adult lives Laura has acknowledged any sacrifice I made. Mom grabs her purse, heading for the door without answering. This conversation is over. As the door closes behind Mom, Laura lingers, uncertainty written across her face. I wonder if any relationship can be salvaged with either sibling after today's confrontation. Derek's earlier text suggests possible reconciliation, but Laura's complicity runs deeper. My phone pings with a notification. I glance down to see an email from the Financial Independence Project, a major financial advice website. Subject: We'd like to feature your blog post, When Being the Good Kid Comes with Interest. Laura watches my expression change. What is it? I place the phone screen down on the table. Just confirmation that some stories need to be told. The apartment feels different after they leave, not emptier but clearer somehow, as if the air itself has been purified. I move to the window, watching them walk to their car below. Mom's shoulders are hunched forward. Laura keeps glancing back at my building. For the first time in months, I feel no urge to call after them, to apologize, to make things right at my own expense. The cost of truth has been high, but the price of silence would have been my entire future. I return to my laptop and click Publish. In a year, I will focus only on myself and my own journey. I stand at the podium, surveying the 20 faces looking back at me. The community center's fluorescent lights wash over us, but the atmosphere feels anything but sterile. A year ago, I couldn't have imagined standing here. I tell them, my voice steady where it once would have trembled. I thought saying no to family meant I was selfish. A woman in the front row nods, dabbing at the corner of her eye with a tissue. I recognize that look, the relief of finding someone who understands your struggle. Financial boundaries aren't about refusing to help those you love. I continue, resting my hands flat on the podium. They're about ensuring you don't disappear in the process of helping others. The words flow naturally now, without the guilt that once strangled them. I share my story not with anger or bitterness, but with the calm clarity of someone who's walked through fire and emerged stronger. When I describe the moment I finally stood up to Mom, several people lean forward in their chairs, as if physically drawn to the possibility of freedom. After the workshop, a silver-haired woman approaches. "You've given me permission to protect myself," she whispers, squeezing my hand. "Thank you." Walking home, I pull out my phone and check the confirmation email from the travel agency. The tickets to Hawaii are booked, one for me, one for Aunt Laverne. I smile at the itinerary, feeling nothing but pure anticipation. Last year's trip had been beautiful, but burdened each moment weighted with the invisible cost of proving my worth as a daughter. This time will be different. No hidden expectations, no scorekeeping, just joy, freely given and received. I learned gifts should be given freely, without strings attached, especially to myself. I tell Aunt Laverne later that evening as we raise our glasses around my dining table. Barbara clinks her glass against mine, her eyes crinkling with warmth. To Madison, who showed us all how to write our own stories, not the ones others script for us. 2 other women from the financial workshop join in the toast. The candles flicker across our faces, illuminating this small circle that has become more family to me than blood ever was. My publisher wants the manuscript by September. I announce, still barely believing the words. What began as a personal blog about financial manipulation within families has transformed into a book deal. The working title glows on my laptop screen, The Price of Peace, Breaking Free from Financial Manipulation. "Did you tell them about the retirement planning conference?" Barbara asks. I nod, unable to contain my smile. They think it's perfect. Timing the book release will coincide with my speaking engagement. My phone buzzes with a text. Derek's name appears on the screen. "Could we meet for coffee next week? Been thinking about what you said about boundaries." Laura's asking Mom for money now, and I'm starting to see what you meant. I set the phone down, neither immediately accepting nor declining. That's a decision for tomorrow. Tonight is for celebration. 1 month later, I stand alone on a Hawaiian beach, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of amber and rose. I raise my phone, turning the camera toward myself instead of away. The photo captures my smile with Diamond Head in the background, evidence of a moment fully inhabited, not just documented for someone else's approval. As I watch the sunset alone on that beach, I wondered if some relationships are meant to be temporary, even family ones. What would you choose? Maintaining family connections at any cost, or preserving your peace even if it means some relationships might end? The answer whispers through me, clear as the waves lapping at my feet. Some prices are too high, even for love.